It's the Broadway Show, the place to find the biggest shows and stars of Broadway. I'm Tamsen Fadal.
Just a few weeks left to catch a Whiz on Broadway. The magical musical has an incredible set brought to life by the Oscar-winning production designer of Black Panther, Hannah Beachler.
Let's send it out to Paul Wontorek.
Your career is kind of on fire. I mean, you win an Oscar. What brought you to Oz and to the Whiz at this point in your career?
The director, Shelley Williams, who we are from the same small town in Ohio, Dayton, Ohio, and we were kind of in the same circles. We never really knew each other, and she called me like a year ago. I mean, there wasn't even a hesitation. I've not done Broadway, I've not done theater, but the name, the memory, the iconic show that this is, how could I say no? And I remember it from when I was little, so, because I did go to see it in the theater with Stephanie Mills, and it did have a huge impact. I mean, it's like full circle for me. And I was like, my dad was an architect, and my mom and my dad took me to the theater a lot. And so it was there, right, when I was young. And I just thought my dad would be so happy. He passed away when I was working on the first Panther. And never really got to see what I did. He would want this for me, and I want this for me, and so there was never any other answer but yes.
So many artists, when they attach to something like The Whiz, there's so many emotional connections to a property like this. It's not just a gig, is it?
No, it's not. This wasn't just like another job, or I just want to try this, or oh, what's this about? This was based purely on emotion and my connection, what it did for me, seeing myself in Stephanie Mills, like understanding worth and having a place and that things are possible and accessible. And so I want that for other people. I want that for young people for this. So it felt like in a way, a responsibility. I had to do it.
What's cool about theater is obviously with your films, it's a very escapist, immersive experience. People sit in the dark theater and they just sort of can get completely lost in your worlds. But with theater, there's a lot more imagination involved, and it's more tangible. It's right in front of people, and people interact so differently with design in theater. Is that exciting, the challenge of that? Oh,
it's so exciting, and again, new to me. So I think I brought a little bit of my cinematic and filmic way of design and aesthetic design to this, what really grabbed me was the fact that it can be a little abstract and you have to fill in the pieces. Like, we can fill in all the pieces with VFX and all the sets and all the time, but here you have to rely on people having the imagination and you helping them find what you're trying to do. And that's the beauty of it. I love the moving scenery. You don't get that in film. Like, I got so excited that the scenery was moving. I'm like, we need to see it all. We need to see all the scenery move because I love sort of the meta of it. There's a beauty in it that cannot be seen in film or really any place else. Like, this is its own thing, and there is something about it. I want it to feel traditional. I want it, because of the scenery, I didn't want to do a lot of, video projection and stuff like that. So we worked with the video designer to like come up with the aesthetic for what that's gonna be. And I just wanted there to be textures. I wanted people to look at things and just be like, this is a different world. This is a whole nother, and I feel it and I know it, but it all works together.
And obviously this is such an iconic world. People have seen many visions of Oz in many different media. How did you jump into this?
I started with the original Whiz musical, and I was just looking at images and reading about the designers and where their inspirations came from. That was very important to me to know where this original piece came from and what was the thought behind it and what did they want to accomplish. Then I went to the movie. What are the differences between the musical and the movie, what were they trying to say at the end of the day? What were the two sort of different ideas, and how are they also similar? I want to pay homage to everything, lots of Easter eggs, pay homage to everything. And then I started, researching Black American culture throughout time, which I'm very familiar with because it's in almost everything that I do. But what are the pieces of that then I want to bring to Oz as it pertains to this journey in this world specifically? And I specifically wanted it to be about Black American culture. And how do I talk about that history without talking about the struggle and the pain, but the pieces of joy that came from that history that has made us today. So I did all that little bits of research and put that in the show. And to me, that's what's important, because these things have power. The stage has power. Film has power. And that power, like Peter Parker's uncle, with great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
And what you're putting into the world will come back to you. And when I leave this world, I want to leave a legacy. And I want that legacy to be of kindness, empowerment, and worthiness.
What does it mean for you to be telling this story every night? Now audiences are seeing it every night. Just what does it mean to be a part of this?
It's everything. And it's hard to put into words. I, this morning, got here early. Everything was off. You know, no one was here yet. And I'm like, oh, I'm a little early. So I'm like, let me go into the theater. And they had one light. And the Kansas house, the first Kansas house, was on the stage. And I had my headphones on and my music, listening to one of my favorite songs. And I kind of walked in the middle of the theater. I'm probably going to get a little emotional. And sat down and looked at it. And looked at it and just thought, you're really leaving something important and good. And to see your design, I do this on every movie. I go and I want to sit and I be quiet. And I look and I know that I'm blessed and I'm grateful to be able to do that. And I know my dad is looking down and watching it. It's just, there is no words for that feeling. Maybe one day, but there aren't really words for that feeling, to sit there and look at that and know that you left something good.
In Hadestown, a song can change your fate. The 2019 Tony Award winner for Best Musical, still one of Broadway's hottest tickets.
And now the underworld has a new Eurydice.
Theater to me is the most tangible thing I've ever had to experiencing passion. I think for me, I love it so much. Whether it is getting to watch theater or obviously getting to be on stage, it's just, I love it so much that getting to do it every day makes me so immensely happy. What I love about this show is that it's so honest, and at the same time, I think the grandeur that it carries allows for everybody to see themselves in every character. And there's so much truth behind the story that we're telling, because it's so easily like transferred into our day-to-day life and in the way that we view and perceive both ourselves and our choices. And regardless of how beautifully told it is, I think the message in itself holds so much weight. The music in this show, I think, is heavenly. It's perfect. It is. I love it. I'm fangirling. It's weird to fangirl this hard being a part of it, because it just sounds like I'm like bragging about the show, but it's just so brilliant. It's so good. It's so good. I love it. It's so ridiculous.
It's time to take a walk with a Broadway star, so let's send it out to Charlie Cooper.
Jordan, we're
Charlie.
walking you to work today.
Okay.
Super
Should we go
excited
arm in
about
arm,
that.
like,
I know, we
like
might as
Wizard
well,
of Oz?
just kind of like,
you know?
Listen, you've had a crazy, busy summer with your Broadway debut and
Yep.
Wicked, but also you have a baby girl.
I know. She
How
was
are you
born
feeling?
5 weeks early, so we are exhausted and excited and all of the emotions.
How are you like juggling fatherhood with
Oh,
this new
my
big
gosh.
thing?
Well, I have a superstar wife who has taken so much of the reins, especially when I came back into the show. She understood what I needed to do every night. So she's letting me sleep the most of the night, and I handle like the morning shifts a little bit. So it's really a team effort.
So obviously we're walking you to work, but I have to ask, because I know you do some biking, some rollerblading.
Oh, rollerblading?
What is
Don't
your
talk about that.
favorite neighborhood in the city to do those things in? Because it's chaos out here.
Yes, it is. I love it. No, I'm wild, and I love going all over the city. It's the best way to see the city. I bike to work every day. I avoid the subway at all costs. It's a cool way to be around New York.
I know you don't have a dance background. How did this happen? Because you're doing a lot of dancing.
Yes, I am. You know, I have an athletic background.
Gotcha.
So I feel like that has served me well in being very body aware. So I'm able to pick stuff up if you give me enough time. But as you said, I am not a dancer. To this day, I've never taken a dance class.
Oh my God.
And I sing a song called Dancing Through Life, which just like,
The irony,
that
right?
doesn't make sense to me at all.
I love that. I love how Wicked takes up the entire block.
Isn't it cool? It's so special. I mean, all of the paraphernalia here. and
Yes.
it's such a cool office. I mean,
Look
I
at what
love that
it
it says sexy, sassy, and sensational right next to me. That's the best part. Yeah, bro. Way to go.
Does it at all ever feel like a pinch me moment for you?
Yes. Yeah. Well, yes and no. I know this sounds weird, but I was on the road for a year and 8 months, and I finished with 640 performances of Wicked. So when I came in here, I was nervous until I started Dancing Through Life, and I was like, oh, I know this show. I know how to do this. So every night I have to walk across the stage after the show is over to get to the stage door, and that really is the pinch me moment where I'm looking out at the empty theater, and that really helps remind me how special it is to be on Broadway every night.
Well, thank you so much. We're
Of
at
course.
work.
Here it is.
Yes, here
the
it
old
is.
Gershwin stage door.
Break a leg. You're
Thank
gonna
you
kill
so
it
much.
per usual. Thank
Thanks.
you.
Hi, my name is Emma Pitman, and I play Cherry Valance in The Outsiders, and you're watching The Broadway Show.
Welcome back to the Broadway Show. I'm Tamsen Fadal. Let's get back to it.
Broadway isn't the only place theater fans are enjoying this summer in New York City. The New York Public Library for the Performing Arts has a very cool new exhibit. It's called Photo Call, the theater photos of Joan Marcus and Carol Rosegg. They're two of the theater community's most prominent photographers. The display featuring 4 decades of their work, including photos from shows like Wicked, Hamilton, Dreamgirls, and more.
Couldn't be more thrilled or happy to have our work be a living archive where people can come see it and use it and research it. It's not, stuck in some corner somewhere, and it's been thrilling.
Narrowing down was really, really hard. All these photographs here, Carol's, mine, they all have real special meaning to us for very different reasons, other than they may not even be photographic or even the best picture ever. They're all like at different points in our careers, situations that happened while we photographed, but they all have memories and stories.
I hope that they realize that this is a niche art, and I hope that they take away how very lucky and proud both Joan and I are about our work and being part of the theater community and being able to showcase our work.
The library has helped create a legacy for us that will live forever, into the future. So that's pretty great.
Check it out now through September 28th.
Put on the green light because Broadway shows don't get much bigger or flashier than this. It's A Great Gatsby, the amazing and extravagant new Broadway musical based on F. Scott Fitzgerald's iconic novel. Here's Beth Stevens with another edition of Building Broadway.
Thanks, Tamsen. Tony-winning costume designer Linda Cho has designed 3 shows on Broadway this season: Harmony, Doubt, and now The Great Gatsby. We're here at the Broadway Theater to see her lush designs for the new musical set in the Roaring 20s. When people think of the 1920s, I think that most people think of a flapper, and they think of a very specific silhouette.
Yes.
Were you adhering to that?
We have some of those. We have definitely the fringe skirts. Some of the things about the 20s that we think about the classic silhouette is the slim hips with the flat chest, and humans are not all built with those proportions. So just celebrating everyone's shape and saying, you know what, I know in the 20s we did the drop waist and that particular silhouette, but let's cheat. Let's give everyone a snatch waist, and let's make sure that everyone can do a big kick so that we can accommodate this amazing choreography as well. So we do all these cheats. I call it cheater 20s. Like we're doing 20s, but we're cheating in every way that I feel is necessary.
Tell me how you had your costumes integrate with the choreography and with the direction.
So seeing, for instance, there's a number called Shady, and they're dancing in trench coats. And to accommodate this idea with the swinging coats, I was thinking of bats, quite frankly. Sometimes I use flowers or animals or jewels or whatever as sources of inspiration.
And you also designed the headpieces, which have a very specific Art Deco feel.
Yes. Headpieces I've learned from various shows in the past, they have to be lightweight and they have to be secure. They're gorgeous and completely unpractical for dancing. So
right.
Those are the things that I got to put everything that I've ever wanted in a big, crazy 1920s party on stage.
This is a Broadway show, and we're back in just a few. Takes a whole lot of people to keep a Broadway show running, from the stars on stage to the orchestra in the pit and all the people behind the scenes whose names you don't always see in the playbill. Our man Perry is on the town.
Guys, we are now inside the Richard Rodgers with the house manager, Tim Pettolina. Tim, thank you so much for the time today, especially on a busy two-show day.
My pleasure. Welcome.
Of all the positions in theater, house manager might be the one I'm the most unclear about. What exactly are your duties? What is your day-to-day?
Well, basically, I run the front of house. So I do a lot of payroll, I do a lot of accounting, I deal with all of the customer service problems and also with the staff. You know, also anytime there's any issues with plumbing or any kind of emergency situations with the building itself, the dressing rooms, we have to make sure that everything is taken care of and we have to call in any kind of workers to come in. So you're basically running the building, making sure everything is smooth for every show, 8 shows a week.
So almost like a superintendent of sorts of the theater.
Yeah, but then you get to meet famous people.
Now, Tim, I know we are getting close to showtime.
Yes, we are.
So I heard you have some duties we got to complete.
That's right. We have to make sure that these chairs are set up, because if we have any wheelchairs, right, we have to have them be able to move out. So I see that we had a matinee today, so I have to rearrange some things, but we have to make sure we have the right amount of chairs here. Okay, and you can see they're setting up, they're doing preset on the stage,
yeah.
So we got all
Everybody's
the
getting ready.
fun sound effects. Yeah, and then we're gonna go up to the mezzanine. First, we're gonna check the box seats as well.
Yeah, so what exactly are we checking when you say check the box?
So we're making sure that the seats are in the correct order. So you have number 1 is closest to the stage, number 2 is in the middle, number 3 is furthest from the stage. So because when they sell the tickets, they tell the customers, this is closest to the stage, this is furthest from the stage. Otherwise, people sometimes try to move them around because they want a better view. So now we're gonna check all the fire exits. Right, make sure everything is the way it's supposed to be. Just making sure
they're closed, or?
And that they're free of any obstructions.
Oh, that's good. It's good to know someone checks that.
As you could see, we have a beautiful theater we renovated 10 years ago, back to the original detail. You could see the dome.
Does that complete the walkthrough?
That's pretty much it, yeah. And then I wait for the stage managers to tell me when the stage is ready, and then we tell the house to open.
So Tim, you're right here. We're right on 46th Street, right in the heart of Broadway. But I got to ask, what does Broadway mean to you?
Oh gosh, well, you know, ever since I was 4 years old, my parents took me to Broadway. So I always loved it, and I loved being a part of any production I could. So basically, it's been my whole life.
Broadway has a new biggest fan. We got so many great entries in our Broadway's biggest fan contest. Our celebrity judges, Casey Likes, Isabella McCullough, and Michael James Scott made the call. And Broadway's biggest fan is Molly Carter from Fort Pierce, Florida. She made the trip up to Broadway, and we caught up with her at the Audience Choice Awards.
It's been amazing. We did Aladdin on Tuesday, we did Water for Elephants yesterday, and Back to the Future, and mine has been blown. It's my first time, my first Broadway shows, and it's so inspiring. Rachel McAdams stopped me to take a picture. We talked to her before she was going to the carpet, and then she came back and she circled back for me. I'm just really lucky to be here, and I just can't believe I'm in the same room with people that I've seen on TV and stage, and it's an honor to just be included. I put a lot of work into the video. All of the text boxes on here are my original song lyrics that I put in, because just if I was gonna use anyone's fake words, might as well be mine. So I was really proud of this. This was the first thing I did. And then I shot the video in 2 rooms of my house, which you can make look like a lot of locations if you try hard enough. And I edited the song myself, and so I put a lot of work in. I was really proud, and I hoped for the best, but I was just happy with what I did regardless of the outcome. But it was incredible to find out that it was me. I just think I have a lot of creativity, I have a lot to offer, and I'm just really excited to be here.
And that's going to do it for us. But for tickets, or if you want to check out extended cuts of all these interviews, head over to Broadway.com. I'm Tamsen Fadal, and this is The Broadway Show.